Breaking news today. As Putin's forces prepare for a Western counter-offensive, NATO tanks are on their way to Ukraine. Video shows that NATO tanks are on their way to Ukraine in preparation for major counter-offensives against the Russian occupiers. The Canadian military shared photos on social media of the German-made Leopard 2 tanks arriving in southwest Poland before continuing on to Ukraine. Hundreds of Western infantry fighting vehicles, such as the American-made Bradleys and the German-made Martyrs, have arrived in Ukraine this month, joining British Challenger 2 and Leopard 2 main battle tanks. Pictures of the transfer of the Canadian Leopard 2s to southwest Poland were uploaded to social media on Monday night, although the vehicles didn't arrive there until April 11. As part of Canada's commitment to deliver 8 main battle tanks to Ukraine, they were smuggled in on a Royal Canadian Air Force CC-117 Globemaster III plan. Russian forces have set up a 75-mile-long network of zigzagging anti-tank defenses. 6 Leopard 2A4s are being shipped from Spain to Ukraine, with arrival expected by the month's end. The Leopard 2 tanks, which are made in Germany, were shipped to Ukraine last month, with delivery on March 27. According to military experts and Ukrainian politicians, the Western tanks and fighting vehicles are critical to victory over the Russian forces. Ukraine is gearing up for major counter-offensives in the coming weeks after a rolling Russian spring offensive failed to make any serious gains in the eastern areas. Ukrainians believe that Western military equipment is crucial to their efforts to force Russian forces out of occupied territory and back toward the country's southern and eastern borders. Despite the fact that only 5 Ukrainian officials are privy to the precise plans, it is widely expected that attempts will be made to split the Russian land corridor as part of the counter-offensives. Russian supply lines from the Crimean Peninsula to Donbass, where the majority of fighting is taking place, could be severed if Ukraine were to push towards the occupied city of Melitopol, as suggested by military analysts to Express.co.uk. There are currently several thousand men spread across at least a dozen brigades in Ukraine's armed forces, with some estimates placing that number as high as 18, The Economist. Western allies have supplied 9 of them with over 200 tanks, 800 other armored vehicles, and 150 pieces of field artillery, according to documents stolen from U.S. intelligence agencies earlier this month. Some officials are worried that Russian forces, armed with older T-72 and T-90 tanks and hampered by muddy terrain and a lack of surprise, will struggle to hold off the onslaught of Ukrainian forces. According to military intelligence, Russia has completed constructing 3 lines of defense along the 75-mile front in Zaporizhia province. Anti-tank lines known as Dragon's Teeth can be seen stretching southeast along the P-37 highway in front of Melitopol in satellite imagery.